Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tuesday night Lipedema Wellness Conversations with Gail. That would be me and my friends. And today's friend is Lisa Duerre. And I am beside myself with excitement about getting to introduce you to the amazing, wonderful, delightful Lisa Duerre. I am hoping to always pronounce her name right. Duerre, like jury, is what she told me. And I am thrilled because I don't know that much about her. I just know what I've met in the last year. How we get to talk. Um, the most amazing thing that for me when I met Lisa is how abundant her generosity of love and compassion and delight is. I find that with Lisa, if there is something, if there is something good to be said about something, she will say it. If there's something that she finds beautiful, she'll make sure that the beauty is seen. And she is our managing director of Lipedema Simplified, and you're working with Lipedema Project also, right?
I am, yeah.
Yeah. And so with that, I would like to introduce to all of you the marvelous Lisa Duerre. Hi, Lisa.
Gail, hello. Thank you for having me. I'm giddy with delight too. I'm very excited to be here and be on your friend show. Are you kidding me? Wellness conversation with Gail and friends. I'm in.
I know
Yes,
it's
please.
almost yes. To me, I almost want to take off the lipedema and the wellness and just say, "Hey, let's talk."
We got a lot, and I'm already seeing Marilee and Eileen and Susan and
Yes,
Fractal Beans.
Fractal Bean's name is
Fractal
Ellen.
Beans.
Her name is Elena, and I
Elena.
always have Elena, and I've always have to ask her, and I got it today.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's good to see everybody. When you're out there in YouTube land, make sure you give us a thumbs up. And if you're in Facebook land, give us one of these guys because we want as many of these as we can get. We love it. Just keep smashing that button because the more likes and hearts and subscribers we get, the higher our points go up. There we go. We got one. I'm like,
Yay.
there's 19 people watching and only one of them loves us.
There it goes. And Juanetta's here too. Hi, Juanetta.
Yeah,
And hi,
yeah.
Gloria.
Yeah, Gloria's from Ogden, Utah. So that's just around the corner from me. Well, actually, yeah. So Lisa, you come from the Portland area?
I am in the Portland area. Yeah, I live in a city
Yes.
called West Lynn. It's about 20 minutes outside of Portland. I'm up on a bit of I call it a mountain. It depends on your definition of mountain. But yeah, we're in what the trees are, and the power goes out, and there's deer in the front yard once in a while. So it's
Hey,
been really
that's
great for our nervous system as we navigate a chronic illness, right? We have to take care of ourselves. So
yeah.
yeah.
And actually it is kind of nice when the power goes out because it makes us go out and put our feet in the dirt.
I know.
I know we don't get to touch our feet to the soil. I was watching my cat the other day and I thought, ooh, I wonder how long it's been since my kitty cat has actually touched something like outside and in the dirt. And so she went outside for a few minutes. But
Mhm.
anyways, so Julie Rosa's here, and so is Eileen Navarro.
Hey,
Um,
ladies.
Eileen's from Puerto Rico. Gloria's here. Ogden Manetta's from Alaska. So we're all over, pretty much all over the northern hemisphere right now on the west side of it, I guess. Lisa, what can you tell us about you that you think that is important for us to know about you and what you're up to these days?
Wow. Well, that's a loaded question.
Okay, now okay,
Type in
wait,
the chat if you really
do you
want to
want
know what my answer is to that one.
do you want me to narrow it down for you?
No, I think I'll accept this challenge, Gail. Here we go.
Okay.
Something about me that's important to know right now. I just turned 55.
Woo,
And
happy
I think that
birthday.
that is a big darn deal. And I still think I'm 35. It's bizarre. But I'll say something about aging with this disease. So I found out about that I had lipedema I lose track of time. It's that part, the brain fog of fatigue, but about 2 years ago, I think now. And I just thought menopause was awful and what's happening to me and where's my life going? And once I realized I had lipedema because I found the disease they call fat and lipedema simplified, um, I feel pretty good at 55. I mean, I've been doing lots of good stuff to take care of myself that I've learned from you all. And I have, you can't shut me up to talk about this stuff now. So I'm thrilled to have this honor of being managing director, to work on both sides of the house, the nonprofit and the for profit, and to really shine a light on this because I don't think it's okay that I figured out in my mid 50s that I have this disease that's been living in my body my whole life. I'm not okay with that.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And nobody, and we can't, and we're not going to know unless there's somebody out there talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so how did you find Lipedema Simplified?
So it's so interesting. I was supposed to go on a family vacation, and my knee had been hurting me really bad, and I had gone to the orthopedic. I got some PT recommendation from my doctor to get my knee looked at, and they gave me an injection in my knee. But my knee was so swollen, they didn't do it in the office. They had to schedule it to like look at my knee and get in there, and that really freaked me out because I thought, don't you do this in the office for like basketball players? Why is my knee so swollen? So in that conversation, I realized I couldn't make my trip to the Grand Canyon, which is, it was the Grand Canyon and a lake. I can't remember the name of the lake, Arizona.
Powell, Lake
Lake
Powell.
Powell. Thank you, Gail. Ding, ding, ding. 6 points, right? Um, so my family was like, I can't believe you're not taking this trip with us. And I said, I can't do the walk. I just can't. And I was really sad. And my stepmom was like, Dr. Google, right? And just went online and started Googling like big legs and, my symptoms because she was watching me through the outside. And she found an article on lipedema and called me and said, I want to talk to you about something. And this is not going to be easy because she's been trying to tell me my legs didn't look normal for a very long time. And I was blowing her off because I was offended by the word normal. Like I wasn't open. I was already struggling, right?
Mhm.
So I listened to her and I read the article and went, oh, whoa, she's right. It all just made sense. And so from there, I found the documentary, The Disease They Call Fat, and I probably watched it 3 times in 2 days. And I just kept, you mean there's a diagnosis? Like you can do something about this? Like what? And I remember one of the ladies in the documentary, they were talking about her with her, and she finally said, do I have it or not? Like, and they said yes. And she just started crying. And I thought, I want to be her. like I want to know that I don't want to feel like I'm making this up or dismissing, like perhaps I'm an overeater and I don't know it. So long story short, because I had found the documentary, I started looking in Facebook groups and I found Lipedema Simplified. And then the universe conspires to our highest and best. And what I do in my spare time, my day job, I run a consulting firm and we help leaders in tech with their culture transformation, burnout prevention, inclusion and belonging, and now also talking about chronic illness and disability awareness. But anyway, I was in this group and I saw Catherine's picture because she was a member of the group. And I don't know about anybody else, but I got all like fangirly. Like, I don't know if you're a Swiftie and maybe Taylor Swift was in your thing. I don't know. But I was like, how do I tell this woman thank you? How can I get to her to say thank you? So the group manager, the Gail of that community, I reached out and said, can you please put me in touch with Catherine and let her know I just want to say thanks. And Catherine being Catherine, hey, Lisa, let's talk. And I just was like, I cannot believe I'm at this point and this is what's up. And thank you so much. How can I help? And Catherine said, you have just discovered that you have a chronic disease. The best help you can be is to yourself and your family. You're telling me you can't take vacations and it's blowing up in your body. So, Lisa, I invite you to take care of yourself first. She wouldn't let me help. And so it was wonderful and beautiful. And also, you probably have met me enough now, Gail. Like, I want to help. I'm not, no. So I just started
Yeah.
talking about it on I'm a speaker. I'm a keynote speaker. I have a podcast. I just started talking about it and sending her episodes when I was doing what I was doing. And she was like, oh, this one is not sitting down, right? Like she's going to take care of herself and she's going to talk. So I just kept sending episodes and saying, "Hey, thank you. I'm paying it forward." I'm actually turning red now talking about it because I was pretty bold about it. Like I listened to her, but I also I could not sit still. I needed to talk about it. So
Yeah,
that's what I found out.
that's pretty cool. I know that when I someone had I kind of went into denial. This couldn't be me, couldn't be me, and then finally it was like, okay, yeah, this is me. And so I reached out and I started watching. I watched a webinar.
Oh.
I watched a webinar, and at the
Mhm.
bottom of the webinar it said, if you want a consultation, click here. And so I clicked there, and I got a consultation. And it was crazy because like Wednesday at 1 o'clock that week, I get a phone call, and it's Catherine Seo, and I
Mhm.
just sobbed
Yeah.
and sobbed and sobbed because she had so much love and compassion to actually talk to me personally.
Mhm.
I I don't know what I was expecting, but I did not expect the amazing Dr. Catherine Sayed
I that was me
to
too. No,
actually call me.
that
You
was
know?
me too. Like, what?
And
I'm talking to her?
I
What?
know it's like, wait a minute.
The documentarian with her PhD in like body and media and like women's health. You're gonna spend time with me? Are you kidding
I
me? Right?
right.
Yes,
Yeah.
Gail, I
I
know.
know. I know. And then I don't know if have you met her in person?
I've never met her in person. No.
So when I met her in person in 2022, I went and spent the night with her for a couple of nights. We went to Keto Fest
I
together.
saw your Keto Fest lives. You guys
Right.
were so
And
cute
I
talking about what you're eating and doing the stairs, and I was like, "I love them."
and I walk up her stairs, and there she is at the top of, because she has 9 stairs to get into her home. And and I look down at her and I'm like, "You're so tiny." That's all I can say, because to me, she's bigger than life,
Right?
right?
Mhm.
She's like 5'2", and I'm 5'9", and I just kind of look down at her and go, "Oh, you're so tiny." And she looked up at me and she goes, "Would you like some pancakes?" And that's how, because she
Oh.
made keto pancakes for me for breakfast,
Mhm.
and I was so exhausted because I had a red eye that she put me in her bed. She fed me pancakes, and then she said, "Come on, go lay down." And I'm like, "Okay." And she goes, and she tucked me into her own bed.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, how many people would do that,
I
right?
know. That's the
And
heart.
so I know. So we just got a message, and I do want to share this. It says, "Did Catherine's surgery go well?" Yes, both of us have heard her voice. She does sound good. She and I sang a little song together yesterday, and she's going to be hanging out with Akanksha for a few days. But yeah, everything went well from everything that we know so far. So thank you for asking, Gloria. I know everybody wants to know that. And here we are with Lisa Duerre, and I'm talking about Catherine.
No, we're talking about how we all get here,
Yeah,
right?
that's
When you think
true.
of the ripple effect of someone like what she did and to go over to Europe to make this thing, to build all these relationships, to build this community, to bring every doctor you can to bring the expertise to this community, as well as to build a community which we are a part of. It's inspiring and mind-blowing, and we can give her a few minutes of love and appreciation because when I did, I just wanted to say thank you, and she was like, "Okay, you're gonna go, this is a lot. This is a complex thing. There's a, if I hear comorbidity, I can't even say it. Comorbidity.
Validity.
Like how many more, it all started to make sense. And so she was like, you really got to be okay. So that's what I did. I spent a long time, a good 9-10 months, just like getting all the doctor's appointments and the treatments and the pumps and the MLD and the vibration and my food. And then so here we are. A couple of
Yes.
times I've spoken at the conference, and now I get to co-host.
Yeah, it's quite amazing. I know, I'm so excited that that sounds bad. I'm so excited that you get to co-host and not me.
Well, Gail is the
'Cause
community manager. You are all about the community, so I'm glad you're going to be mingling with the people too,
oh
right?
yeah,
Mingling with
I
the
am
community.
I am going to be mingling with the community, and this community has been so generous with everything, loving you, because when you share your story and you talk about your journey, your path that you've been traveling on, and you had to. Your mother-in-law kept saying, "Lisa, listen, something's not right."
Mhm.
And sometimes we get into denial. We say, "No, this is my fault. I can take care of this,"
Yep.
and instead of going, "Oh, oh, this is something I can approach in a different way,"
Mm.
and that's what you've done. Eileen, we just Catherine's doing well, although I don't know if she's out of the hospital yet, but she's doing well. They've asked again about Catherine.
It's wonderful. Yeah.
So Lisa, you you've done some traveling recently, and you ended up in Potsdam, Germany,
Mhm.
for about a week,
I
and
did.
you traveled over there with Siobhan Huggins, and you met up with Dr. Matt Carmody while you're over there at the Lipedema World Congress.
Mhm.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about what you did? Because all three of you presented
Yeah,
and
I
were involved.
moderated. Yeah, so I moderated and Dr. Carmody and Shaban presented. Um, I have the program right here just to like let everybody know
Woohoo!
like how big it was. And I know we're gonna do a deep dive on this on Saturday. Um,
Yes, a free
and
webinar, and I'm going to put that up there here in a
yeah,
minute. A free webinar on Saturday at 3. We're going to talk about that again in a minute. So go
yeah.
ahead, Lisa.
Well, I'll say a couple of things. If it wasn't for Lipedema Simplified, I would have never got on that plane, not even just for my role, but I had stopped traveling because it was too hard to walk. And so all the things I've learned about compression and airplanes and travel in my lymphatic system, I did a lot to be confident enough to say yes to international travel by myself. So I met Shaban at the hotel in Germany, but I got myself there from Oregon. And Dr.
Wow.
Carmody and his wife Jen met me at baggage claim in Berlin, and we rode in a taxi to the venue. But here's the thing I can say. This community has inspired me to say yes to something like that. That was not an easy trip physically. It was hard. And I used wheelchair assistance through the entire ride. I had to, I was worried like, what if they're not there? And what if my layover? And what if this? And what if that? And had to measure my hips and then measure the airplane seats online to see if I could fit internationally and try and manage everything that goes with this, right? Iceland, you get off the plane and you have to so the layover was Iceland. You have to go down the steps, take a bus, get over, go through customs, do it. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Right. Like it's like a crazy ride. And I'm really proud of myself for the steps that I took. And I'm really grateful for everything that I learned through Lipedema Simplified because I was able to take the steps to be ready for that. That was a lot, right?
Okay.
I even procured MLD while I was there. I found a local MLD professional. I made sure the hotel had a pool so I could be in the water. So just practical things, one lipedema patient to another. That was a lot, and my legs were so swollen after that plane.
Right.
Right? I
Oh,
mean,
I'm yeah.
and I had worn these shoes. I thought I was so smart. They had one Velcro on them, but I had another pair of shoes that had like four Velcro straps on the way home. I'm like, oh, four Velcro strap trip home. So I'll just say that and say that the power of the community and like learning from each other about what works was really, I don't know how I would have done it without it. And then to represent this organization at the patient representative day and to run one of the roundtables, our topic was looking for evidence that the conservative treatments are making an impact. So it wasn't just like, oh, I
Oh.
heard vibration plates work. It was like, tell me what the evidence is. What's different for you? So we went through each modality that people brought up from keto to aquatherapy to MLD to compression, taping your mouth, using
Oh. Mm.
electromagnetic frequencies, everything. And then
So
we,
taping your mouth at night to learn
yep,
to breathe through your nose.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So everybody just brought it to the table and it was patient representatives from all around the world. So, all the groups that are working with the doctors and with the government and some with patients came together and we had these breakouts where we just discussed our lived experience and the experience from the community. And they're rolling that up into a larger paper. And so
Mm-hmm.
when we have that, I'll share it. But what an honor to facilitate that and then to be able to present the results. As a speaker, I'm
Right.
not afraid of standing up on stage, but it's the first time I was on stage in a room full of people that knew I had a disease and understood it. And I think I carried myself a little bit differently, right? It was like looking out into the sea of lipedema advocates who have body shapes similar. Our gait, many of us are walking with our, the gait that we all have, and the doctors who care so much to be in the room to listen. It was
Yeah.
very inspiring.
So
It was
did you
really good.
strut? Did you strut your stuff?
I did. I did strut myself.
Yeah.
I actually wore this dress. It's so funny. I was like, I want to
Yeah.
wear a dress that's bright and happy. I didn't want to wear a suit. And I get really, really hot when I move a lot. So I
Hmm.
even had my little fan around my neck, and people kept saying, "What is this fan you have? It's amazing." But
I
I was like,
know. You're watching you going, what do you have on your neck, Lisa?
ah!
What's the story? So
Yeah.
that was just to take care of the girl heat,
I
right?
just didn't want to be a sweaty mess on my face. Right? It was too
Oh,
much. It's too much wearing compression and huffing and puffing and walking all
right.
around. Yeah. Yep. So I had my fan on.
Awesome.
I say
Awesome.
I brought my fan with me. Yeah, and then Dr. Carmody presented, on the case definition paper, which many people are like, "What does that mean, Lisa?" And I said, in order to treat this disease, much less find a cure or a way to reverse it, even identify it earlier, you have to do research, and you can't get research funding if you don't have a definition of what you're researching. This
Right.
paper is going to help us all get more research. And so he
Right.
presented it. There was wonderful conversation and discussion. And then Shaban and team did a poster on the ketogenic diet and their impact on reducing symptoms and as a conservative treatment for lipedema. And I think there were, okay, I don't know the number. It's at least 10. It's more than 10 papers or posters.
Right.
And I was sitting next to Shaban in the front row because I always sit in the front row of these things. I don't want to miss anything. I want to hear it all and see it all and write my notes. And Dr. Krupa came up, and he was one of the chairs, Dr. Godes and Dr. Krupa. Dr. Krupa came up and he squatted down next to Shaban and was talking to her. And I'm like, what's going on? I don't understand. Right. And then I went, oh, and I thought, no, don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. And I looked up at her and her eyes were welling up.
Oh
And
no.
no, it was the best thing on the planet. And I looked
Oh.
at her and I said, you won. And she nods. And then 2 little trickles come down. And Dr. Krupa's like, is everything okay? And I said, Dr. Krupa, do you know what it means to be in this space with these experts from around the world to be recognized for your work? I'm like, she's thrilled. So then she only had like 10 minutes to like freshen up and get on stage and present her paper to the whole Congress.
So she won
Best
best
poster. I keep
poster.
saying paper, poster,
Right.
best poster
Best poster.
of all of the posters that were put in there.
And
Lipedema Project won the best one, and Shaban got to present it. I
that's
started crying. I was like,
oh,
this is
that's and see that's when 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 we when we talk about Lipedema Simplified and Lipedema Project, I always say you can't get you don't get what we offer any other place, right? There's
yep.
there's stuff that because our community is driving you as part of the community drove drove us, and now you're part of it, right? I mean,
Mm,
I was part of the community, and now I'm part of the driving force.
yep.
And I look here at names like Julie and Winetta and Gloria. They're all part of our community, and they have all done things to drive this forward. And it's a totally different aspect than being doctor driven.
Mhm.
It's not
Million
coming
times.
down. It's not coming down like this, and they're not telling us what we need. We're telling them
Mhm.
what we need and where we want to go, and then what
Yeah.
we need from them, not them telling us what we need to do to take care of ourselves. We're telling them what we're doing. Listen up, people, because we're
Mhm.
here, right? And I
Yeah.
know, I know you wanted to make a splash in Potsdam, and you guys did. And it's just thrilling to know
It was
that you did.
wonderful. Yeah. If I can, I'll say this too. So I'm not shy. So anyone in the wisdom circle and Lipedema Simplified, we had these and we brought them.
Oh,
We brought the postcards that this community created. Do your legs look like this for the patient with the hug on the back? And then
Ju- Julie Stewart,
whoop, whoop.
she's out there.
And then do you have patients that look like this? with the link to the clinician to clinician video. And this one has it links to the lipedema quiz, right? And we were handing these out. And there was a couple of people that were so blown away by these cards. I'm also trying to capture for social media to highlight things. I got Dr.
Right.
Carmody explaining the wisdom circle and all the work this community has done with other advocate patient representatives. And they're holding the cards. And now I think Isla's putting it up on the website because they were like, can we have more of these? How many of these can we have and how fast can we use them? And so I just think when you think of what's happening in the community and what we were able to present to people, it was really moving. It was really inspiring. There's so much work to be done, but we're on the right and we're on
Oh
the right path.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, those cards, I there were we just it was really hard because we didn't even know where to start, right?
Mhm.
When we developed the cards and we're like, what project? And our first thought was we have to tell people, we have to we have to actually reach out to the person who has zero knowledge
Mhm.
about
Yeah.
lipedema.
Yeah, if my stepmom had sent me this, right? Do your legs look like this? Hey, Lisa, I think this is you. I would have been like, yep, there they are.
Yeah.
Right? I was
Yeah.
reading like a PubMed paper. I was like, everything
Right.
was scientific. If she, I would, this, what this card is, it's a huge hug. It's a hug.
It is. It is.
Mhm.
It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
So Lisa, I do want to talk to the audience about your upcoming webinar that you're going to do on Saturday.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
okay, so I'm gonna put up the information. It's a free webinar. As you know, as we get information, we often so we have so many webinars, but this is free. And if you register for this free webinar, you will also get, even if you can't make it through the whole thing, you will get a replay, a link to a replay. Not only that, is is if you are in that webinar, we don't hold the webinar as a listen only type of webinar. We hold it like a meeting. And by coming to that meeting, you'll get to talk to Dr. Carmody. You'll get to talk to Siobhan. You'll get to talk to Catherine. I might be there. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able. That's 1 o'clock Mountain. Yeah, I might be there for a little while. Um, and then of course Lisa. So I'm going to put the link to this webinar in the comments, so that if you haven't registered for it yet, and please register for it. Oh, where'd it go? Um, if you need to register for it to be able to attend. And so there you go. Um, it's in the comments on both Facebook and on YouTube. And if you haven't registered for it, do. And come see Lisa and Dr. Carmody, Siobhan, um, Catherine, if Catherine's there. Um, hopefully she'll be up and about by that time. And as like it's called, updates and breakthroughs from Lipedema World Congress. Lisa can't even scratch the surface right now,
Yeah.
on what happened, but how spectacular. And then you'll also be able to give kudos to um, Siobhan and the
Mhm.
team that put together the poster. How impressive. Siobhan is a youngster, and she has been. I tell people, I told Siobhan when I met her, I have been following you longer than you've been following me. Because you
Can
know,
I give like a behind the scenes little cuz you it's like they do the reunion shows on Love is Blind or any Bravo show, and then they give you all the scoop. I
yeah,
just want to sneak
yeah,
peek a scoop on Siobhan because she's so amazing. So we both did the pool every morning. She was my accountability buddy in the pool. And so, you're getting up early, you're jet lagged, you're trying to get to the pool, you're working, and we did all the conversation in the pool. And that's how I get to know Siobhan was in the water. Um, and I was talking to her like, who do you like to help? And she said something like motivated people with like complex situations that I believe are solvable. It was something along those lines. And I said, that's your tagline. Like, that's what you do, right? And what I saw about her in this space was whenever she would get up and answer a Q&A or pose a question, do you ever feel like, your friend's the cute one and the boys would talk to you because they really want to get to your friend? You ever have those
Yeah.
moments? Yeah. So all the researchers would come up to me because I'm so outgoing. Hey, blah, blah, blah. Lisa, Lipedema Project is amazing. Tell me more. And so I'd share. And then it would be like, and how do I get to Siobhan? How could you make an introduction to Siobhan? Right. And I'm like, I got it. I see what's going on here. It was
You're
wonderful.
you're
The
her
researchers,
wingman.
the researchers were like flocking. And this is what I think about this community and what Siobhan brings. She is smarter than anybody I've ever met. And Dr. Carmody and her would be talking, and I'm watching them go. And he's like, this is the point. You're right. Like, just like helping kind of draw out like the next step. And Dr. Carmody is fantastic. You
Right.
all know him already. He is
Yeah.
so kind and so open and was so, you see a picture of him with his thumb up. He could not stop smiling for that poster and for her in that moment.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was
I'm
just,
sure.
I don't know. It's a
I
great, what
know.
an honor. It's so
And
cool.
my
Anyway, pool time with
uh,
Siobhan. We might have a new lipedema podcast.
well, I wish you would.
It was
Okay,
wonderful.
how wonderful. Now, here's the thing about I got a little secret about Dr. Carmody.
Oh,
I know. So, um, I was I came I took great honor in this. So I came on after meeting that you and Dr. Carmody and Catherine had met for, oh, I don't know, an hour, 45 minutes or whatever. And and then he stayed on with the meeting, and Catherine wanted me to come in and meet with him and Catherine. And so I did. And so of course Catherine had to take a pee break. Gotta go pee. So she left the two of us alone for a few minutes.
that's a very strategic move,
I
those
know,
those
I
bio
know,
breaks. Yeah.
I know those bio
Yeah.
breaks. So I kept, I'm talking to Dr. Carmody, and he looks at me. He says, um, "Lisa, please call me Matt." And I said, "I'll call you Matt if you call me Gail." So he knew I was somebody different, but he could not get you out of his head. And he looks at me, he goes, "Oh yes." Lisa, he says, "Please call me Matt."
Oh, I
So
love
now
that.
I get to call him Matt, and I'm like honored to call him Matt.
It's a thing.
I
Yeah.
know,
Oh,
I
I love
know.
that. Yeah, when he met me, I was at the baggage claim and texting back and forth. I'm at the baggage claim in the wheelchair. And he shows up with his wife. And I'm like, Dr. Carmody. And she looks at me. She goes, that's Matt. I'm like, I know, but he's like Dr. Carmody. Like, how do you? So I'm like, it's like my daughter's teacher. He's Mr. So and so at school.
Right?
But then to the parents, he's Joe Blow. Right. I'm like, it's just, yeah, just so much. I have so much appreciation for them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's quite amazing how fangirly we get. And when I met Siobhan, it was pretty amazing because we went to Keto Fest, right?
Hmm.
And I thought I was meeting Siobhan. I was going to meet Siobhan. She ended up at the library. She took public transit to the library, and we were in some small town as we were
Yeah.
driving through. Um, anyway, um, so we picked her up at the public library because it's an easy thing to find, right? No, but we went to the public library. We pull up, right, and out comes Siobhan and this man. And now Catherine's car is about this big, right? I mean, it's this tiny, teeny, tiny little thing, and she and I are wedged into the front, and all of our gear is in her hats, right? And they've got they've each got a suitcase. So they climb in, and now they have to have their suitcases on their lap. It was Siobhan and her dad, right? And her dad's tall and she's short, and they're sitting there, and I'm like, I am meeting Siobhan Huggins,
Hmm.
and I think his name's Eric Huggins, in the back seat of Catherine's car, and we're driving down the road to Keto Fest, and Catherine at that point is able to stop texting and driving because everybody she's texting is now in the car. I mean, it was just like, ah!
Oh my
But it
gosh.
was such a blast of a weekend. We got to
Mhm.
just hang out in an Airbnb and just have so much fun. I will tell you, it was a blast, and I
Oh,
do love people, so I can't wait to meet you.
I
You're
can't
in
wait to meet you too.
Portland. You're in
Yeah.
Portland. You're around the corner. You're
I
like
know,
6
right?
hours. You're like 6 hours. That's nothing. Portland's like easy to get to for me.
It's interesting to hear your story, and I'm sure people can comment and we can bring in their voices too. But one of the things that I really wanted to capture this experience for people, right? I'm like, okay, I don't mind taking a selfie. Well, Dr. Carmody, I'm like, okay, I get at least 3 pictures a day, right? And Shaban, I'm like, let's go, selfie, selfie. But we'd be in these transports to the patient representative Dan, and they're in the back, and I'm taking pictures. They're holding signs. I'm, I'm either like annoying as heck or really fun. It depends
You're,
on where your energy's at, right?
you're annoying as
So
heck.
I
No,
think you and I together, Gail, we might be
I
like,
know.
okay.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
I see Jenny here is asking about a topic, and someone is having a hard time. Let's see. Molly can't get the link. Let's just make sure.
Okay, Molly or Marilee? Marilee?
Oh, Marilee, link is on. See, these are my
Okay,
bifocals.
let me it says link isn't working when I click it. Um okay, let me double check. I got to pull up a another another link then. So it should be working. It opened on the it opened on the 12th. Um
Let's see
let
if
me
Marilee.
pop that back in. I just pulled it up out of a different. Here, try this one and see if it works. It should be um it should be learn.lipedema-simplified.org/free-webinar. It should look like this. It's the same webinar link. If you are on our mailing list, you should have received oh, okay. Thank you, Desiree. I will reach out to Isla. That is the link that we use for all of our free webinars. So I'll reach out to Isla here when the show is over to let her know, unless Lisa wants to box her.
Yeah, well, let's here. Here's another behind the scenes. Are you ready? You're all getting behind the scenes now. Hey,
Desiree
Isla,
said,
it's Gail and I live, and we're showing them how we Voxer each other. Hey, we can't get the link to work for some of our attendees here on the free webinar for Saturday. Is it the same link, free-webinar? We just want to make sure. Let us know. Thank you.
let me,
All right.
oh, I know why it doesn't work. Call her back and
Oh,
tell her never mind.
okay. Hey,
It's
Isla,
because
sorry about that. Gail figured it out. Thank you. All right, there we go.
because I'm reading it and it says free web, and then so I'll show you what happened. So it says, see at the end here, it says free
Oh,
webinar
open a new
opened in
tab.
a new tab. I had to. Sorry, guys. That's my fault.
That's
Oops.
awesome.
So don't use that one. Use use this one. Right? It ends. All of our free webinars say free hyphen webinar. So so sorry. Oops. That's
That's
my
awesome.
fault. Okay.
Hey, and I see
There,
a question from Winetta. Is that okay, Gail? Can I
you
go
can,
there?
of course, yeah. This
And
one?
of course, I just want to say to Juanetta, so glad you're here. I've been watching your journey and I'm loving your updates. And thank you, thank you. So I got to meet Dr. Roxon. So Dr. Roxon did a Dr. Roxon did a couple of presentations, but I'll just, if I may, let's just show you. Look at that. It's proof I can get dressed up, and there he is, the man with the plan.
Ooh, at the
Um,
gala.
yeah, we can talk about the dress later too, right? But oh my gosh, Juanetta, his every presentation he did was amazing in the sense that the audience, it's like everyone in the audience kind of leans in and it gets really quiet. And he's so polished. I know you've seen him present Heart to Heart. The Congress is a place where people discuss, right? And there's dialogue back and forth. And I think this and you think that, and there's that back and forth. I didn't get an energy around his presentation of like, he's completely out of his mind. It was nothing like that. It was more just like questions about some of the data. And I think what it did is it opened up a new conversation about looking at this through another lens. And so was he swarmed afterwards? Absolutely. I didn't even try to talk to him until I just naturally ran into him because he's such a rock star. Everybody wants a piece of him. And I thought the last thing he needs is me going, hi, hi, hi. So I just waited and the universe connected us in the lobby and then we had wonderful conversation. But his presentation, I did not experience like others where they were definitely standing up being like, have you thought about this? And this is what I think. He had none of that going on. So I'm interested to see more. And I think that the other thing that was interesting for me is when he's going to be coming to the heart to heart experience as the keynoter, I think he's going to bring that perspective with him too, of whatever he heard from then on and where we are now. I think we're really lucky that the heart to heart event is happening after the Congress so that we can bring all that into our experience too.
Yeah. And the heart to heart event is happening October 27th, 28th, and 29th. And I do have the right link for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna put that link in. Let me make sure I have the right link. I know it's bad, you guys, but I'll tell you, all the people who know me know that I'm human. Last I checked, so thank you very much for loving me through all my
I think we need
humanness.
some hearts for Gail as she makes sure the link is right. Right, Gail? I can give you some applause. Let's see.
No, this is interesting.
There's your applause.
You know what's weird? Oh, stop. You know what's weird is when I copy pasted that in here, opens in a new tab just showed up also. So whatever it is on this platform says opens in a new tab at the end of all of my copies. And so the heart to heart event is actually labeled in the comments heart to heart event. Thank you, Lisa, for the applause. Yeah, what a mess. Thank you, all of you guys who are patient with me when I pop these things in. Wow, Lisa, 42 minutes later, and
Right? Well, what other guest has
we're
given
still
you applause? I just want to say, I hope I win the award with my
you
sound
win
system.
you
You
win the
didn't get
award.
crickets, Gail. You got applause. How about that? I do have
My,
crickets.
my daughter-in-law will walk by once in a while and she'll hit a cricket button at me. I'm like, thanks a lot, child.
That's so
Um,
funny.
but let's see what else. Let me see if there's any other um, ding. Let's see, is there any other stuff? Um, Juanetta says every OBGYN office, every nail salon, so many places need those cards. That's a
Indeed.
good idea. And I believe we do have a place where you can get those cards to print out, or you can reach out, just write to one of us, and we can make sure that you get a link so that you too can get those cards, print them out. The problem for us, it's not a bad problem, but the problem for us is, printing them out and mailing them off to you it has a cost. If you are not in the US, it has even a more of a cost. And so if we can give you a link where you can say, I want to distribute those cards, and you can print those off and get those into your circles, then that's a much more practical way to do it, much more efficient. You know how many you would need, and I know then, but there is a cost to printing and shipping and all that, and so um, reach out to Isla. If I'm going to put I'm actually going to put Isla's address up here. I know that's crazy, right? Um, but reach out to Isla. It shouldn't be too difficult to hit her. Come on, Gail, you can find her. I do. I have so many things over here in my list.
Don't you know, like, some people have producers that produce the event and the host just talks, and you were like the hostess with the mostest doing it all.
I
That's
know.
impressive.
Usually, I know less than has a producer. I said,
When I go live on LinkedIn, my husband is the producer. His name is
yeah,
Randy, and he's actually speaking at Heart to Heart. He's gonna talk about what
I
it's
know.
like to be the partner to the person with the disease and what that journey's been like for us. I'm super excited for the
Oh,
community to get to meet the man behind the woman, do you know, like just doing
mhm,
everything. But he does the
right.
production and he's always like, "Did you spell everything right?" You know, I was sure open a new tab. I would probably copy and paste it too. So I'll let you know. And then he's like, "But I'm the producer."
Yeah.
I'm like,
So it is hard to do both.
mm-hmm,
But I do, like when Leslin has her research updates or when she talks to our sponsors, because we have sponsor
mm-hmm.
lives right now. All that I'm sitting back here grabbing things and putting them
That's
up and
awesome.
pulling up questions and showing the slides and
Mm-hmm.
everything, you know. And so here I'm busy for my show. I do the producing at the same time. It's just fine because everybody knows how human I am then, right?
I love it. Yeah.
And
Hey, I don't know
and
if
I
it's
love that.
I don't know if it's okay, Gail, but I have these little shine cards, and I was
Oh,
hoping I
what
might
is that?
open it up for you. Is it I don't know, you just do so much for this community that if I could be in person, I would just hand this to you and you would just open it up on your own. It's like a little message, but you're
Oh,
not with me.
okay.
So,
I'm
is it
not.
okay? Are you open to receiving some love?
I am. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. So this says shine, pop open here. I have no idea, everybody. I have no idea what it's going to say. But I put my hand on my heart and I thought about you. So here it comes. Believe in yourself and in everything you can be. That's the message.
Thank you, Lisa. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Believe in yourself and in everything you can be. Shine on,
China.
right? You're
Thank
so
you.
shiny and you do so much for everybody. And
Thank you.
I don't mean you need a fan. I mean you're shiny. Like the love in you is shiny.
You
And
are my fan. What am I saying?
right? Let me cool you off, right? I just think when you can give someone just a recognition of what they've done and who they are and how you show up for this community, you give so many hearts. So I just wanted to give you a shine card. I'll
Uh,
keep it. And when we
thank
do meet and you find out how tall I am, I'll hand it to you. I'll write your name on it. I
okay.
really appreciate you.
I'll try not to comment. Oh, you're tall. Or, oh, I'm sorry. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Yeah.
I appreciate your shine, the shine that you're sharing with me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Um, I want to start to wrap up the show because it's we've been on here for quite a while, and I told Lisa that I that it can run from 20 minutes to an hour and a half, and she has a youngster who has an event an appointment tonight, so I can't keep her all day all night long, so I'd like to start wrapping it up. If you think about ever needing to reach out to Lisa for whatever reason, Lisa's email address through Lipedema Simplified is the same as the rest of ours, Lisa at lipedema-simplified.org. She accepts loving, she accepts shining, she accepts hugs, all kinds of stuff. So I'm glad that you were here with me tonight, Lisa.
Mm.
Um, I end all my shows with asking my guest if there was one message that you would like to see echoed around the world. You know, because we do have that ability to have our voice echo around the world with a message. What would it be?
I don't think it's often you stump me where I can't talk. So I'll just I kind of want to read your card to the world. Like I feel like when you think of this chronic illness, and that's what's coming. I'll just go organically what's coming into my heart. At first I was going to say it's not your fault. And I think we all know that at some degree to some level. And we need the reminder for sure. But when I popped this open and I read it to you, I thought, couldn't everybody use this? Believe in yourself and in everything you can be. So I
Yeah.
think it's coming through here that I'll just leave that, Gail, is that is a message from me to you through this card. When I think about what we're all going through, whether we have the disease or we love someone who does, or maybe we manage someone at work who is just figuring this out, or perhaps we have someone in our life who is permanently disabled because of its progression, and wherever you are in the journey, and in wherever you are, when you believe in yourself and everything you can be, I think that is like the piece of hope that we can all bring into the world. And I just love that this is the card I pulled for you, and that if you're okay, I'd like to share that with everybody. If that's the message to ripple, that's a good one.
That is a good one. And yeah, you can, yeah, you can share my card with the world, Lisa. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Make sure that you share um, this broadcast with everyone that you think needs to hear it. Watch it again. Watch the replay. Know that we love you. We're here for you because you're here for us. And with that, Lisa, audience, I bid you all a good night.